Mangroves. Mangroves are plants that grow in tidal areas. The word mangrove can describe a single plant or it can refer to a whole community of plants. They are halophytes. Most plants cannot survive in salty conditions. Mangroves grow only in tropics and subtropics. They do not tolerate cold temperatures well, and freezing temperatures will kill them. Mangroves grow best in sheltered areas with low wave energies. High wave energies destroy the shallow root systems of mangroves. They also prevent seedling establishment and build up the fine sediments needed for growth. Florida mangroves include 4 tree species: the red mangrove, the black mangrove, the white mangrove, and the buttonwood. Each mangrove has its own level of salt tolerance and it determines its location. Why are mangroves important? Mangrove plants form a unique ecosystem. Mangroves are essential to the first link in the food chain. When their leaves fall into the water and are decomposed by bacteria, many valuable nutrients are released that are essential to the growth of plankton. The leaf detritus also provides food for animals such as worms, snails, mussels, oysters, shrimp, clams, and mullet. Many mangrove species survive by filtering out as much as 90% of the salt found in seawater as it enters their roots. Some species exudate salt through glands in their leaves, breathe in a variety of ways. Some mangroves grow pencil-like roots that stick up out of the dense, wet grounds like snorkels.
While plants and algae may sometimes appear to be quite similar visually, they in fact have a number of differences between them. Algae may be unicellular, colonial, or multicellular. Plants, on the other hand, are only multicellular. In terms of where they live, how they survive and reproduce, and what composes them, plants and algae are vastly different. Algae drift with the water currents. Some algae are actively mobile. Dinoflagellates, for instance, whip themselves through the water with a tail-like structure called flagella. Other algae may move by pushing their bodies forward in a crawling motion. However, sea plants aren't very mobile. They are usually rooted into the ground, and if not, they drift with the current. Plants have a complex, multicellular reproductive system. Some even require assistance of the wind, birds, or bugs for pollination. Algae, comparatively, can reproduce through tiny spores or even by replication of the growth of broken pieces.
Red mangroves are shrubs that grow along the coast of salt or brackish water. The red mangroves are distinguishable because the roots that are above ground transfer air to the bottom roots. They usually grow to be around 20 feet in the U.S., but can reach an optimal height of 80 feet. They are unique because they grow in areas where other plants are not able to. For example, they are able to grow in soils that have very low amounts of oxygen or anoxic waters. But in order to do so, they have to adapt to their environment. This is why they have adapted their roots to be shallow roots instead of deep tap roots. Their prop roots help stabilize the tree and obtain oxygen. The roots above ground have small pores that allow oxygen in, but not water because of their hydrophobic nature. Moreover, the roots have to be able to filter out salt and still have room for oxygen and other gases to reach the bark. This makes them halophytes, or salt-tolerant trees, and allows them to grow in harsh conditions. Their unique roots lend the red mangrove the nickname of the walking tree.
Red mangroves exclude salt at the root surface. This is accomplished non-metabolically thanks to a reverse osmosis process driven by transpiration at leaf surface, in which water loss from leaves produce high negative pressure from shading tissues. This allows water to freely diffuse into plant tissues. In addition to excluding salt, red mangroves also have the ability to exclude sulfides from their tissues. Other mangroves, such as black mangroves, white mangroves, and buttonwood, each utilize salt accretion as a salt balancing mechanism. Salt concentrations in sap of these species may be up to 10 times higher than species that exclude salt. Salt excreting species are able to take high salinity pore water and then excrete excess salts using specialized salt glands located in the leaves. Reproductive adaptations in mangroves are viviparity and high hydrochloride. Red mangroves are considered to be viviparous because once seeds are produced, they undergo continuous development rather than entering the resting stage to await germination in the appropriate cell. Red mangroves are abundant in the shorelines of the upper tidal to lower intertidal zones and are distinguished from other mangroves by networks of substream. Red mangroves may attain height of 25 meters, with leggy leaves breaking at the upper surface and somewhat pale underside.
Number 1. The cuticle. The cuticle has a waxy covering on leaf that keeps water from being lost. Number 2. The radicle. The radicle is the first organ to appear when a seed germinates. It grows downward into the soil, anchoring the seedling. 3. Prop roots. Prop roots provide additional anchorage and support. 4. Leaves. Leaves can secrete the saltwater taker in.